already has it. Okay, good. Yeah, okay. I would love to talk to you. Take your pick.
All right, I'm going to call us to order. It's 6:15. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Thank you. We have all 5 board members present this evening, and thank you all 4 student board reps as well. Thank you for being here, students. We are going to adopt the meeting agenda. I'll ask for a motion to adopt the meeting agenda with one alteration. We don't have a WIA update this evening, so is there a motion that we adopt the agenda minus the WIA update?
Jenny, can I ask a question? Do we also need to add the robotic?
Oh, is that under consent agenda? It should be under the consent agenda.
Is it there on the new agenda? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
I move that we approve the agenda
With the proposed change.
with the proposed change.
Thank you, Meredith. Is there a second? Thank you, Diana. All those in favor? Great. We have a presentation this evening. Dr.
Yes.
Irish, you want to?
Excited to welcome Principal Schwartz, Kevin Schwartz, for a board presentation, and he's going to give us some updates on Mount Erie, and I know he has some special guests with us today.
All right, can you hear me okay? Is that
Yep.
okay? Your stuff was in the staff room, so it's,
I have your first.
you're welcome.
She's worried.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and share a little bit about what we're doing at Mount Erie this year. I spent a fair amount of time processing what I wanted to talk about and really how to present in a nutshell what we're doing in a 10-minute conversation. So I decided to revisit the school board's strategic plan, specifically looking at the logo that had the 4 pillars, starting out with equity at the base, and you have the 4 pillars. And then on top of that, you've got the roof that has vision, mission, and beliefs. And then up in the far corner up there, we talk about the student learning outcomes. So as I looked at that and kind of processed what I've done in the past in terms of who I've brought to share with the board, I saw one really big item that I wanted to address, and that's the social emotional learning pillar and how that ties so critically to the success of our SIP, specifically around reading and math. I also looked at, I realized, one of the things that 25% of our pillars are SEL. The state, if you're familiar with WAKIDS, assesses social emotional learning as one of the criteria that they use to determine whether or not students are ready for school. And also, social emotional skills are assessed for students to become eligible potentially for special education. So we know through that, and of course the overwhelming research, that social emotional learning is critical to student success academically. So as I thought about that and realized we also have a SEL goal on our SIP, I thought, who would I want to bring to the school board to have them share a little bit about how they focus on SEL in their classroom as a daily practice to support our SIP, specifically around Tier 1 instruction for all students. So I thought of Rachel Hoffheimer. And Rachel is a third grade teacher at Mount Erie. She has been at Mount Erie as long as I've been the principal, and I actually met her about 23 years ago when I started working in Anacortes, and she was a very new teacher in Anacortes as well. So I thought she would be a fantastic person to have her speak about how she uses that every day seamlessly in her instructional practice. And so when I talked to her, I said, what about a student? Because I'd really like to have a student come as well. And she immediately thought of Elijah. And so I talked to Elijah's family and said, is this something that you'd be able to do? And they absolutely were on board. So Elijah wrote a speech about how the student learning outcomes, specifically around he feels cared for and he cares for others, is manifested in ways at school that has allowed him to be successful. And so I've asked Mrs. Hoffheimer to kind of use that lens and Elijah's lens around that to share out tonight. And Elijah practiced a significant amount for his speech, and he's really ready. But I want to let you know that he goes by Eli at school. And this morning I asked him, I said, I've always called you Eli. On your speech you wrote Elijah. How would you like me to introduce you tonight? And he thought about it, and he said, well, at school and with people I know, I like to go by Eli. But when you're introducing me to somebody that doesn't know me, I'd like to use my full name, so please use Elijah. And I thought, what a great example of someone who has this just amazing ability to know when it's appropriate to go by nicknames and when it's not. So that's really all I'm going to say, because I think they have a lot to share with you tonight. So I'd like to have Mrs. Hoffheimer come up, and she's, again, going to connect what she does in her classroom with our SIP, specifically tying SEL work to our Tier 1 instruction. So come on up, Rachel.
There you go. Oh. Oh. All right, Eli, would you come stand with me and bring your, there you go, good job. Ooh, sorry. Not used to talking into a microphone, kind of, but a little different in the classroom. All right, good evening. As Kevin, is that okay? Closer to, okay, got it. All right, as Kevin already mentioned, I'm Rachel Hoffheimer. This is my 25th year of teaching in Anacortes, and I've been lucky enough to teach at all of the elementary schools, including Whitney when it was K-3, and that's when I worked with Kevin. And one thing that I've learned many things over the 25 years, but one is the importance of building relationships and connections with students. And, since one component of our Mount Erie improvement plan is to ensure that all students are receiving Tier 1 instruction with the district adopted curriculum that aligns with the district's strategic goals. So I felt that we should talk a little bit about our social emotional learning that we do in our classroom. I can guarantee that everyone in my classroom is receiving Tier 1 instruction, but with an adopted curriculum. But I really feel like it's really important that I create a successful, I make it successful by creating that environment that's safe and engaging for my students. And then I think the learning and the growth just follow. So one way I work to make this happen is by spending the beginning of the year with those relationships. And the first word that I teach my students is perseverance. So what is perseverance, Eli? Do you remember?
Perseverance means to never give up.
That's right. And so, so on that first day, I give them a task that seems impossible. Did it feel impossible that first day of school, the nail trick? Kind of, right? And so Eli is going to kind of show you this, we call it the trick, but it really is showing perseverance because it is a task that seems impossible at first, but with guidance and a few little hints, they all were successful. So would you like to try that? All right, so go ahead and explain what the challenge was. What did I ask you to do with that, with those tools?
You have 10 nails, and you're supposed to stack all 10 on this one nail.
All right, so pause there for a moment. So as adults, how would you tackle something like this? I don't even know. First try was when you were trying to do this? I said you have to have 10. They have to be on the head of the one that is nailed into the wood.
I started by doing this. I put one nail on this nail, and then put it like that. Then I put all these like this. Then I had one nail left, and I didn't know what to do. But
Got it? You got it.
and then I saw it, and then I put the nail here, and then I picked this.
Oh my gosh.
Mind blown.
Glasses again, sorry. Yeah, good job.
Are there multiple ways to do it?
Well, this takes, of course, this is after probably, I don't know, we spent quite a while on it before we got to that point. But then after that, they want to do more. And so I don't remember I think the top was 28 nails or something. Or maybe it was even more than that. So they just kept working, how many can I fit on the top? So once you understand the science of it, I guess, they love that challenge, right? So thank you for demonstrating there. All right, so another thing that we do in our classroom to continue to foster that whole classroom family, is routine morning meetings. And I think that is crucial in the classroom. And so we kind of have a routine for our Monday, Wednesday, and our Fridays. Tuesday and Thursday, it just depends on what we need to do. But on Mondays, we always start our meeting with just randomly choosing partners. Did you have the picture of the slides? Oh, the slides up there? Which is fine if you know it. Oh. It should be at the end of that. That's strange. Huh, okay.
Have it here.
It's not on there.
All right, that's okay. It's okay. It just had some pictures to kind of highlight what we were talking about. So on the Monday morning, I just have a whole bunch of cards, and I take these cards and pass them out to the kids randomly. We keep it very secret at first, right? And then they go and they find their partner. And for example, this one, because third grade multiplication, they have to find their partner that fits with each other. So it's just random. And then at that point, they just really learn how to really just use eye contact, be a good listener, and they get to share about either, oh, there we go. So at the very top, that top picture shows exactly this. So they stand and they make that connection with each other, and they can share about their weekend if they want to. They can share how they're feeling on the mood meter. They can share a fun fact about themselves, anything they want. And then at the end, they think of something nice to say, like just have a great day, or something, and then we start our day, and that's how we start our Mondays. On Wednesdays, going on to Wednesdays, we always do some ruler work, and right now we're choosing a new word each week for our mood meter. So one of our third grade mood meter words is aggravated. So, we read Hats for Sale, if you know Hats for Sale, a great classic, and, he's very aggravated. And, or we do things like we did a whole bunch of Minute to Win It games with the word competitive and learned how to win, how to lose, and all that good stuff. And then this last one was grateful. Our word was grateful, which was perfect for this season. And we wrote gratitude poems, giving gratitude poems. So Eli is going to read his gratitude poem. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I'm dropping things, buddy. Here you go. There you go. Can you do it with? Okay. Oh, should we not?
I am grateful for my eyes because they help me see. I am grateful for my mom because she cooks for me. I am grateful for the PE teacher because he teaches me new games. I am grateful for the firemen because they put out the fires. I am grateful for my coat because it keeps me warm.
Awesome job. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we do all different activities with those words, and then we post them onto the mood meter, and then we can bring back. And we still aggravated comes back, often. They love to use that word. I'm just feeling aggravated, Yeah, that's a good one. And then on Wednesday, so when we're finished with that, on Fridays, we go into our compliments and concerns box. And you can see I just took a picture of our box. It does have a strange frog in there. That is our class mascot. And he moves around the room right now. For our EL module is all about frogs. So that's that's Speckles, and he moves around the room. But he was in there this week. So the compliments and concerns, they can put in all week, compliments or concerns. And then on Fridays, we have a class meeting where we discuss those. And we usually start with the concerns, and discuss those. And one big discussion, I can say, is about outdoor recess outside in the winter, which there's some things we can't do in the winter because of different reasons. Anyway, so they have decided to write a letter to Mr. Schwartz, which he doesn't even know, but just with a few ideas of things that they have of how they could make it better and that type of thing. And so you will get an invitation soon with this letter, and we're going to see what we can do. But since it kept coming up, I thought, well, what can we do? I guess we could write a letter to Mr. Schwartz, find out what we can do. And then we go to the compliments. We always end on the compliments. And usually I give the sticky notes, which it's written on the sticky notes. You can see Elijah's name tag, and then under that are some of his sticky notes he's collected with his compliments he's gotten from his classmates. And they really enjoy that. And usually after the sticky notes, they still want to, give more. They think of something else, and it's really a nice way it's more like end the week. And so to support Mount Erie's SIP plan and the pillars of our district strategic plan, building connections in students, I feel like really comes first before what I call the magic happen for that growth and the learning. And so with that said, I would like to hand it over to Eli. He has a few things he would like to share with us. Okay. Let me move my stuff out of the way, buddy.
My name is Elijah Hansen. I am in 3rd grade at Mount Erie, and I have been a Mustang since kindergarten. I enjoy being a student at Mount Erie because I feel like my teachers care about me, and I have lots of friends. For example, when I was in kindergarten, Malachi, who is in my class now, helped me up when I fell. I still remember that well. Clay and Hunter have helped me this year with my math facts, so now I have passed multiplication and almost all of division facts. I care a lot about my classmates and teachers too. On Fridays we have Spirit Day at our school. The class that has the most participation gets to have Martin, a horse stuffy, visits their classroom. I really wanted to help out my classmates, so I brought extra sweatshirts for people who forgot. That way we had 100% participation and earned to have Martin in our classroom. Also, I am a successful learner. I am doing very well with math and earned my multiplication master certificate for showing that I know all of my multiplication facts. The goal is to earn it by next May, so I am way ahead. I am also really good at big addition and subtraction problems.
Thank you so much.
All right. First of all, I want to thank Eli/Elijah and his family. in the audience for coming tonight. I know that I can't even imagine being a third grader and speaking in front of a bunch of adults, and he did such a great job, and also Mrs. Hoffheimer too. I think just the takeaway that I would hope you have is that SEL cannot, student success cannot happen with SEL work. And the research is so overwhelming on how that supports learning. So I'm grateful that Mrs. Hoffheimer spends a great deal amount of time building those classroom relationships. And then, as you heard from Eli, it carries on into how he's created relationships with his student colleagues. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'll open it up to you guys.
Thank you so much. Are there questions? I just thank you, Elijah, for the nail trick. That was really, really fascinating.
Elijah. Hey man, that was awesome. You did a great job. Like it's super scary to stand in front of strangers and speak, and you did so well. And we're so grateful that you came to share with us tonight. So thanks.
Yeah, seconding that, Elijah, and also keep problem solving. I never would have thought of that. And then also like bring in an extra sweatshirt or so. Can't wait to see what you do next. Because you're just like, I got it solved, and I love it. So thank you for sharing.
He brought more than the class needed. Just to let you know, he let me know that he brought 5 and not all. So the entire class. If it wasn't clear, on Fridays we have a school challenge for school spirit. So students can wear blue. They can wear Mount Erie gear if they have it, but blue or white or any jersey of their choosing. So that if they don't have school colors, they can do something else. Like if they are part of an Anacortes like Little League or something like that, they can do that as well. And also one of our teachers went to the PTA and got 13 sweatshirts for students who we knew didn't have them. And that was an amazing day where we were passing those out, so those students have those to wear. So Elijah has taken a huge step forward in supporting his class by making sure that they have the opportunity, which just goes under that equity base, to participate in something that they otherwise wouldn't have had. So I'm so proud of him. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Mrs. Hoffheimer. Thank you, Mr. Schwartz.
And thank you to Elijah's family for being here. as
Yes,
well.
and Elijah family, thank you.
All right, great. We don't have any public comments this evening, so we will go right into superintendent and assistant superintendent comments.
All right. So just wanted to reach out to the student board reps, actually. You are going to be receiving a email, if you haven't already soon, from student board reps from Ferndale School District and from Oak Harbor School District. Have you received that yet? Great. So they want to, those student board reps in both those districts are organizing, organizing the first ever regional student board rep that's going to be hosted here at the ESD. So it's going to be like our own version of WASDA. And so please read that email. Let us know how we can support you. And we're hoping that all the student board reps across this region are able to participate and share your leadership with each other. And so let me know if you need any support with that. We had, as you know, a really successful legislative session webinar last Thursday. Appreciate the board in setting that goal to make that happen, and your goals and the work that you set helped create a regional effort. And it wasn't just an Anacortes webinar. It was successful because of all 7 school districts coming together to have a united voice. We heard over and over again from our legislators how positive that experience was for them, that it was organized, there was one common voice, and really appreciate that. And I know, Meredith, when you were there helping plan it, I had no idea it was going to turn out the way it did, and it was just fun to see how everybody generated to make that happen. So great to see that happen, and it is recorded. It's on our Facebook page. I did send a link out to you as well. Please share with everybody. And we'll continue to advocate and work with our legislators to talk about the lack of funding in our school district. Big congratulations to our football team, state champions 2 times in a row. It is awesome. It's great to see Gabby out on the field during halftime. And throughout the game. Robotics also, they invited, the robotics team invited Dr. Clifford and I to come and watch them build and plan for their champion or their game or their competition this Saturday as well. It was at the same time as the game. And learned on Sunday that one of the teams came in second in the highest judged award, which is the Inspire Award. Another team was part of a two-team alliance that won the tournament competition, and they came in third, and also received the third for the Inspire Award. And the Inspire Award is the most prestigious judged award at the tournament. When I was there, I had such a good time. Our students are incredible. There were things that they were teaching me that I had no clue, and I'm just proud of them. And they're not only the mathematical and the engineering skills that they have to have, but the teamwork and the collaboration. It's quite incredible to see them work. ASF was this Saturday. And it was at a new event. They pulled it off really well. It was such a beautiful event, really well attended. And I don't know how much money they've made yet, but I know it was a successful event, and really appreciate our foundation and the effort they put into making sure that our students have more, especially during these budget reductions. And speaking of budget reductions, we are continuing to plan ahead for next school year, making reductions, as I have stated in previous board meetings. Our goal, the board's goal, is to reach a 4% fund balance. Currently, we're at 2%. We will probably be at a 1.3% by the end of this school year, due to our enrollment being slightly less than what we expected. And as we look ahead and plan our next steps, we're going to have to collaborate and work on and making some hard decisions about what we're going to reduce. We're looking at right now at about a $1.5 to $2 million target for the upcoming school year. And then we will be bargaining with 5 of our bargain groups in addition to the reductions that we make. So it's going to be a challenging year, and I'm really hopeful for some really great collaboration in the district in helping us identify where those reductions are being made.
I'm putting this back to where it should be. No, but I wanted to thank Elijah and Miss Oppenheimer. I'm mixing my names, but Teacher Rachel, for their demo, and thank you, Principal Swartz, for your update today. I have a couple of really great celebrations. I've been able to, over the last month, every week try to get into schools, and I've been able to do school visits and get into classroom visits, and I was able to join some PLC and PLT work. I've mentioned a little bit of that in the study session around being in the math team's PLC and PLT at the middle school. And I was able to also unpack some student growth measures with one of our principals today and see the amazing work that one team actually has already completed, and the intentionality that was connected to the PLC and PLT process, and the intentionality around the instruction of how they were looking at students and their growth and pre and post assessments, and really supporting their instruction to support students in their learning. And so that's been exciting. Kristen hosted a co-teaching with AMS this month, so there's been a lot of instructional pieces going on, and we're going to have a strong end to the rest of this year with one more week and a half left. So I also wanted to really appreciate and thank the board for your goal around legislation and the work that you've done with legislation, and sitting in on the webinar as a behind-the-scenes participant. I want to also thank Dr. Irish for you led that as the superintendent lead and the panelist, and it was extremely well designed and well done. In my past, I've been a part of legislative work, and that was some of the top premier organized and really well designed and presented legislative work. And I can't say enough about how much I appreciate the work of the board and the work of you leading that and your colleagues. I know that the legislators appreciated that, so thank you. And I know that we have a long way. I know that they aren't going to be able to respond in the way that we hope for, but this is the first step to getting us, first of many, and the follow-up of others to get us to where we need to be. So the final thing that I just want to mention, that we actually got this a couple of months ago, and I'm sorry that I didn't publicly state it, but when we hired Kristen to come in to support special ed, we get a special ed report card I call it special ed report card every year. It's called the special ed determination level. And we want to be at a level 1, like we want to be number 1. And we were, I think, at a level 3. And in 1 year turnaround, and this is under Kristen's leadership, but also under the support from the principals and the hard work of our teachers and partnering with our families and our students, we are a level 1. That's a significant job, and I just wanted to thank all of our community collectively and Kristen's leadership for that. So I hope everybody has a great holiday, and there's lots to come this week, so make sure that you have your calendars ready and available. I'm not going to steal the thunder because I'm sure our high school students are going to advertise for it.
And one of the great benefits of having our board meetings at the high school is we get a great performance behind us. The Revive Club is here performing, so yeah.
Thank you. Board comments, I want to I know we've already talked about the legislative town hall, but also just wanted to publicly, and she's not here unfortunately, but thank Nikki for all of her work, because behind the scenes of organizing that, and imagine organizing that many legislators and that many districts to all come together, it was a feat. So just recognize her, and then also you, Justin and Mike, for the work that you both did. Also, Mike on helping to come up with all of the numbers that were shared, and the financial picture, paint the financial picture, and the organization, and then also Meredith, your work on being a legislative rep and making it happen. So just really appreciate it. I think it is necessary. We recognize that as a board, that we continue our advocacy and really take a stronger advocacy stance than we have historically. And we couldn't have done it without all of your support and help. So thank you. Other board comments?
I wanted to echo Dr. Irish's congratulations. Yeah, it's on. I wanted to echo Dr. Irish's congratulations to the football team for the state championship. That was awesome. But there's a whole lot of other folks that contribute to that, whether it's Gabby and her fellow cheerleaders, it's the band, it's the broadcast club, it's a lot of people that help make that whole thing come together. And I wanted to make sure that you guys were all recognized as well, because it's a big team effort. So great job. And then team effort, Fidalgo Dance Works is a community partner of ours, and I want to put a plug in for them this weekend, starting tomorrow actually, with their performances of the Nutcracker at Broadniak. So if you have time, please go check it out.
See if I can figure out how to focus. So I'm very distractible, apparently. I'm just like, there's a concert happening. But I wanted to, first of all, thank Dr. Irish and the whole team that's been mentioned, and echo all that, but for centering students in that. So not only for letting our legislators know that with a united voice that we know will make a difference someday, because you've helped narrow down and give them talking points, and that represents this many people, and that is a huge accomplishment. So thank you for that. And I was also just so proud of our school district for the message that you shared and coordinating that, and really saying this is how these cuts are impacting our students at every level. I mean, we're trying our best to not have it, but it does. And I just felt like you set the bar really high, and we'll keep supporting you, I hope, in doing that. So really felt honored to be able to be a part of that. Yes, I won't go into details of all the things I'm looking forward to next week, but there's some choir and band things for sure. But I wanted to know that I saw a play that was phenomenal in the last month. We were all getting excited for it. The Zephyrin starred in. That was just, Small Mouth Sounds was so good. The best theater in town happens here. Don't tell anyone else. Or tell everyone, maybe. And then, yes, were all of you at the game on? No, you were doing other things. But I got to see you at the tree lighting. So we have such engaged student board. The tree lighting, I heard choirs from every school, and then all of a sudden 3 of our board reps were up there. And then, of course, at the football game, I got to We got to find Gabby in the crowd and just had so much fun celebrating all of your accomplishments. So thank you for letting us know about those, and I'll let you give us the details of the many things we should not miss in the near future.
I know everyone's been on pins and needles waiting for my most recent art update, so you're getting one. So we have 2 projects happening. One is the memorial project that you've heard about a number of times, and we've made some great progress in the last short while. We were able to get it funded with donations. We have a design. We've met with the artist and the poet again, and it's kind of taken on its own life in the Broadniak entrance now, and we do think that that will be installed by the end of the school year. So we're super excited about that. And then next is an ongoing project that you've also heard about over the last several years, but we have as a reminder, we have a grant from the Washington State Arts Commission that the Arts Festival staff was able to get quite a number of years ago, and it was $100,000. We've been through a couple of artists now, and so the budget is not quite that high any longer, but with student and staff and community voice, we have narrowed down to our artist, and next Friday we get to see the final proposal from this artist. So we think the installation of this piece might be able to start before the end of the summer. So we're, again, just really grateful to the Washington State Arts Commission for that funding, and this is a project that's 6 or 7 years in the making, and we're really excited about that. So thank you.
Thank you. I think we'll start with building reports and then other student comments. So Gabby has a Mount Airy report.
Wait, there we go. Yes, I have a Mount Airy building report. So I was able to meet with Mr. Schwartz the other day and just talk through some of his goals. So the first question I asked was, what was the main goals of his school improvement plan? And the biggest thing he mentioned was focusing on reading and writing for 5th grade cohort and making sure all students K through 5 have met the Tier 1 goal of the district curriculum. And then another thing was making sure that all 5th graders are going to be prepared and ready going into the middle school next year, which is something that I thought was really important because, I don't know, it just, the more support that you can get switching schools, I think the better. And then the next question I asked was, what evidence have you collected to show this progress? And then Mr. Schwartz mentioned that during professional development day and staff meetings, teachers bring examples of like their assignments, and then they show like how students started and where they are now, and then how that follows the pacing guide. And then teachers will then talk about student growth and what worked for them, what didn't work for them, just so they're all on one page, which I thought was cool. And then the third question I asked was, how have you socialized with student outcomes in your school? And then Mr. Schwartz said that they collected data and showed it at teacher development days and then connected it with the SIP goals. And then Mr. Schwartz also knows all the students' names in the school, which I think is very important. And he has a very welcoming office, I noticed. I really liked all the candy and pencils. That was cool. And then, yeah, it just always seems like a safe place, and I really appreciated that about Mount Airy. And then the fourth question was, how have you... wait, I didn't write down the fourth question. Okay, I asked the fourth question, but the answer to the fourth question was that he works with the social emotional learning and how that connects to the SIP goals of Peer 1, and just always keeping that in like the root of what they're doing and what they're working on at Mount Airy. And then when I asked if there's anything else he'd like to share, he was like, well, I'll actually be there. So then we kind of just talked about that. But yeah, it was a great building report. Oh, it was good too.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks, Casey. You have Anacortes High School.
Yes, I do. I didn't have to go very far. Okay, for question 1, primary goals in your school improvement plan. I met with Dr. Dewey, who was here last time. She kind of squished 1 and 2 together, giving evidence as giving me answers to question 1. So, hold on, I wrote really small on this apparently. Okay, one of them was helping pass classes, sorry. Students seem to be struggling with people who are multilingual tend to be struggling here. And she really wants to help those students pass their classes. She also wants to focus on attendance and also classroom engagement and getting college and career ready, and also cell phones. Cell phones have been a very big thing for her. And belonging, and she's training her staff, like all the teachers, on hate speech and how to deal with it and what they can do better about stuff like that. And then she also wanted to shout out for the belongingness, the interest groups that the smaller clubs that we have started at Anacortes. And then, some of the clubs she shouted out were the D&D club, arts club, and then Crystal Blanton. I forget how to say her last name. But she started Queer Book Club, which has been growing, which is good for her. So that was kind of questions 1 and 2. 3, how have you promoted awareness of student outcomes within your school community? Just talking to staff and the parent newsletter, and she's actually going to have some of the ASB leadership students look at the panorama data. So I think that'll be interesting because I'm going to see that twice now. So, anyways, question 4. Sorry. How does it align with the pillars social emotional learning and belonging, career and college ready, and what does that say? And engaging instruction. Highlight she wants to say is the new science curriculum. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah.
Thank you, Casey. Zephyrin, you have a report from the middle school.
Oh, there we go. First try. All right. So I met with Miss Dunan the other day, and the first question is, what are the primary goals outlined in your school's improvement plan this year? And Anacortes Middle School's primary focus, which is the SIP goals 1 and 2, is increasing student mastery in their classes by having A through C grades, or in short, reducing the amounts of D's and F's at AMS. And AMS measures all students' grades and pays particular focus to the students who have learning disabilities. The third SIP goal is about continuing to reduce the number of classroom removals due to behavior violations and disrupting instruction. My second question was, what evidence supports the progress made towards these goals? Evidence has been collected through grade reports, which have been analyzed by both AMS staff and Ms. Dunan's leadership team, and reports of AMS's monthly discipline removal data, and AMS is making progress on both goals so far. My third question was, how have you promoted awareness of student outcomes within your school community? AMS is focused heavily on student belonging, and their panorama survey data provided some important information for them to process this year. And Ms. Dunan also said that she's excited to work with Casey and Gabby this year on that data. My fourth question was, how does your school improvement plan align with the strategic plan's pillars? AMS goals 1 and 2 align with the instruction pillar 1 in AMS. AMS's goals 3 aligns with the SEL pillar number 3. And my fifth question is there anything else you wish to highlight about your school? And we talked about this earlier during the study session a little bit. But Ms. Dunan was really proud about the Hawk's Nests and the FIG groups on Wednesdays, and 6th graders who are doing well in their classes get to go to fun interest groups and do engineering, active extension of learning, those types of things groups. And students who are deemed to need more time on work are pulled into intervention, which is a learning time, and intervention is successful so far. And some students are even asking to go to intervention because they claim it is very helpful to them. And AMS is also very excited about a 7-period school day implementation. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Zephyrin. Other student comments?
I have it already. I'm first. All right. I wanted to mention the band concert, which is on the 17th at 6:30 in Broadniak, and the choir concert, which is on the 18th at 6:30 in Broadniak. But also, it's being opened by Jazz Band, which I all of the representatives kind of praised Miss Leander at the October meeting. I'm going to do it some more because Leander has also been helping tremendously with jazz band. I know because Mr. Janikula works at the middle school during first period, so it's hard to coordinate that. So jazz band is opening for our choir concert on the 17th, and then there's also the biggest local band competition, Rock the Island, coming up on January 31st at 7 p.m. at Buxton's, which is on Commercial Avenue.
Thank you. Is this the first year it's been at Buxton's? Do you know? Second year. Okay. Exciting. Thank you. Others?
I wanted to celebrate choir too with the tree lighting. That was a really great way to bring the whole community together, and I always love that there's both singing and dancing. And then at Green Club, we'll be selling bags at the choir and band concerts, so that's really exciting. We make them out of animal feed bags, so they're all homemade, which is really cool.
Hello. Oh, there we go. You guys both stole my things, but it's okay. There's also going to be a student, what's the word? Where all the students in at the high school go and listen to an assembly. That's the word. No. There's going to be an assembly with band and choir during the school day. So all the students will get to listen to about 20 minutes of both band and choir on the 20th. So we're all pretty excited for that. And I think that's all I have. You have anything, Abby?
Okay, well, I just thought about, I'm pretty sure tomorrow during 7th period, yeah, that's when it is, we have the alumni panel, which is always really cool to see, graduates of people either 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and just seeing different routes that people took, and it's always very inspiring each year. And then we have a competition between girls basketball, boys basketball, band, and cheer called Tiger Hawk, and it's a little bit later this year, but I believe it's January 3rd. But yes, it's okay. It's gonna, we think January 7th, but if you can, you should try and come.
Oh, wait, I have one more, sorry. I forgot about one of them. The drama and choir programs are going to be doing Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, and that'll be showing in early March. So come see that. Oh, wait, no, late March. Sorry. Late March.
Okay, I just want to clarify a thing. So there's an opener for the choir, which is on Wednesday.
Yes.
And that's at 6.
Yes.
So the opener's at 6, right?
Yes.
And then the choir concert is at 6:30, and that's usually a full house. So anybody who really wants to see these things needs to be there like 5:30. Okay, that's all I just want to put out there because when I realized that, I had to change my work schedule.
Yes.
But I'm excited.
Limited seats because
I
some
know,
of the
right?
students are sitting in there too.
Thank you. Dr. Clifford.
The students really did a great job of giving a forward look at what's coming. I just wanted to add one more thing. The high school is hosting a screening of screenagers to support families on how, at the high school specifically, how to explore cell phone impacts on students in the classroom and how to create a learning environment in the digital age. So that's January 8th, and they have already sent communication out to families, and they will continue to send communication out to families. So that's exciting, and it's timely work.
Thank you.
Dr. Clifford, is that open to just high school families and students or the entire district?
No, Aaron and Dr. Dewey put in the notes it was open to all.
Okay, thank you.
You just need to RSVP.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, Mike is ready at the podium for our enrollment report for December and then financial reports for September and October.
Right, an enrollment report. We're in-person enrollment. That's one that I really, we count on here. In-person enrollment's down 18.65 so far. So, and we typically lose secondary students throughout the rest of the year. So I'm going to stick with the 25 estimate for the year in my enrollment projections. Is it not coming across very well?
Fine, if you could just be really close. They're really loud for us.
Okay, I'll be really close. Okay, any questions on enrollment?
Just want to name that for the period of time you gave the report, we're up just a little bit from November to December,
Yes.
but it's still down from what you projected originally.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. And not too unusual. It wasn't huge adjustments. So it's been unusual in the other few months getting here, but not too unusual from November to December.
Great. Any other questions on the enrollment report? Okay. The financial report.
For the finance, I have the September and October reports, fiscal reports attached, but just kind of combined it for the summary that I do. And note that typically September is higher in our accounts payable because we have annual fees that we pay, and we pay them at the beginning of our year in September. And semi-annual things like insurance, so we pay it now and again in April type of thing. So it's typically kind of higher in September. And my state revenues will be fine through December, but January they'll adjust to that. We're down by 18 at this point, and it'll probably continue to decline a little bit through the rest of the year. So our apportionment will start changing in January 31st. So just know that's coming. That means we're actually receiving money now that we're not going to earn. Okay. Think
Any
about it that way.
questions on the budget report or the financial report?
Mike, I had two quick questions. I saved them both for the end. Can you remind me again, please, what your anticipated penalty is the wrong word, anticipated loss of revenue is for the enrollment numbers?
Well, loss of revenues will be about 300,000 is what
Okay.
I was figuring.
And then more on the financial side, we had the middle school schedule presented to us during our study session. Can you remind me again what we anticipate that out the door cost to be?
I will anticipate it between 300 to 450,000.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, in that range. I also would like to point out that the ending fund balance at the end of October this year was about $1 million more than it was last year at this time. So our cash flow is doing a little bit better because we had a little more fund balance.
Thank you. Other questions? All right. Thank you, Mike. And thank you again for all your work on the legislative town hall.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. We have a legislative update, Meredith.
I'm not sure if everyone had an opportunity to look at WASDA's priorities for this year, so I just thought it would be good to remind us, and I'm happy to send the PDF to all of us after the meeting. The legislative session starts on January 13th this year, and one of the things, this is just a Meredith opinion, not a board opinion, I was grateful to see WASDA really start talking about outdated formulas and models, and starting to put that language out there. And so instead of just, identifying a couple of areas, they're saying all of these areas need to look at new funding models. They're outdated. And so by no surprise, the areas are special education, MSOCs, the outdated prototypical funding model for teachers in general, they're really focused heavily on this year. And then the same thing with transportation, that the funding model doesn't work for transportation either. And so those are their four priorities this year, and I really feel like they match very nicely with what we presented to our legislators. And so we can determine in the coming months how we want to continue to message that out, but we're really aligned with them without trying to be aligned with them. So clearly all of us are concerned about the same things. So I'll send this to you guys after the meeting.
Thank you. It's good to have alignment and also just reinforces where the need really exists. Yeah. Thank you. All right. We have, I'm assuming, Connie for new business. We'll start with policy 3207. It's an update, and this is just a first read, so we won't be voting, but do you want to speak at all to it, Connie?
Do I have a choice or kidding? Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know, I'm trying to speak a little bit loud because I do kind of want to sing, but policy 3207, 3207P, we're just aligning these to our WASDA policies. We haven't Actually, they haven't been updated since 2019. As Dr. Irish said earlier, we are looking at all of our board policies and getting them aligned. So I know Diana probably has a question, so you can ask that.
You kind of already answered it, but I'll reiterate to make sure that I understood that these are in alignment so that we are most aligned with WASDA right now. And in many ways, they're consolidating and clarifying, so we're eliminating redundancies in our language and have clearer policy and, can point to those and have the procedure to go with it.
Correct. And I do want to just point out, because I know one of your questions earlier was, how does this work in partnership with our other policies? In one of the reads on one of the pages, and it's probably going to end up on page 3, we do a cross-reference between, so we don't actually lose anything within some of these policies, but it's more aligned with all the other ones. So when we are looking to use them in a correct way, in a manner when we're conducting business, we're making sure that we're pointing to the right ones.
Looking at the steps that follow the sequence of events, the flow chart that appears at the end of the document, step 1 is filling out an incident reporting form. Is that form, I'm on the procedure now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But just out of curiosity, is the complaint form getting overhauled as well, or is it just the policy and the procedure?
Just the policy and procedure. The complaint form still stays the same. That's actually, the policy actually gets updated and reviewed every year with OSPI. We currently have it on our website. It's tagged on there so you can see it, but we review it at the same time, but we revisit that procedure piece every year.
I think there may have been some discussion at a previous meeting about maybe taking a look at that to make sure that it was as user-friendly as possible for families who maybe aren't as familiar with the bureaucracy associated with our policies.
And I can answer that as well, Jack. So we have a couple different things that go in partnership with that. Because the accessibility for folks on many different levels, we have it as a Google thing, but we're also looking and vetting where it's easier announcement-wise to where the state has come out where it's easier use and accessibility, because we're a little bit behind on that. So like Dr. Irish wanted us to make sure that we have it aligned with everybody. So if you need it in Spanish or you need it in other things, they're a helpful tool out there. So we're waiting for Vector to just give us that. So you should see that hopefully by the next second read of this. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify, at least from my understanding, one of the bigger parts, and thank you for doing all that. I know that's a lot of work, was also just the findability on our website. It was simply the is this nice and easy for people to find and use? Not even I think we've got the work there. It's just not everybody knew where it was. So, yes. And then of course when they find it, I want everybody to use it. So thank you for that. I know
we're also working with our principals to be proactive in handing the form out to families. So, you've indicated that your child might be bullied or harassed. Here's a form. Let's fill it out, or let's fill it out together. So that's something we're working on.
Thank you. Any other questions on that policy? All right. So the next one you're here for is policy 5401, which is an update to the sick leave policy.
Yeah, basically what I did there was just basically put the WAC in there versus having it, I think it said 3 days or 5 days, I can't remember. So it aligns with the WAC. So we don't have to look at it every year. So if the WAC changes, the policy will just automatically update. So it's, again, aligned with our bargaining agreements as well.
Great. Any questions on that policy? All right. Well, if you have questions in the interim, but we will have these up on our consent agenda then when they're ready to vote on next. Great. Thank you, Connie. All right. So we have just the consent agenda now. Are there any questions or pullouts or comments on the consent agenda?
Jenny, I just wanted to publicly thank James Varner as the owner of Rain Shadow Running. He's a friend of mine. I've run a lot of his races, and it's a great opportunity that he's affording our kids to be able to go and volunteer at his races for a fundraising effort. So I'm sure that James is not watching our school district school board meetings on YouTube, but I wanted to publicly thank him for making that opportunity available.
Thank you. All right, I'll take a motion for the consent agenda.
Okay, I'll just sneak in one more
Oh,
shout out
sure.
to our robotics team, because I love that they're getting to go to that, and then we had to sneak it in. And then I will propose that we approve the consent agenda.
Great. Thank you, Diana. Is there a second? Thank you, Jack. All those in favor? Great. All right, so we have a little bit of a holiday break, but we will be at our first site visit of the new year here at the high school on January 9th, followed by, I don't know why it's not on here, but followed by our board retreat. Yeah, so everybody remember that. We will go straight to our board retreat after, on the 9th, after the site visit at the high school. And then our evening business meeting in January will be the 23rd with our study session. And then the site visit after that will be visiting Mr. Schwartz at Mount Airy on February 6th. Yes, Zephyrin. Did you say it's not on your calendar? Okay, we'll need to check that so that.
We'll get it on your calendar.
Yeah, and it's here, so. You will not, but we will make sure it gets on your calendar. Thank you for raising that. All right, with that, we will adjourn for the evening.
Did you need me, James? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Just a second here.
So it kind of just looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, because that falls under a different. Let me get out.